Right. Yeah.
Call the Town of White Springs regular council meeting to order Tuesday, September 13th, 2022 at 6:35 p.m. Please stand for the invocation and pledge.
Heavenly Father, again, we thank you and we magnify your name. This is the day that you have made, and we are obligated to rejoice, and we are glad in it. Thank you for the town of White Springs, God, and for those citizens who are here. Thank you that you will take us to higher heights and deeper depths in you. And we thank you, God, for all that you've done, what you're doing, but most of all, for what you're going to do. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May be seated. Roll call: Jacqueline Williams, present. Nicole Williams, LaRita McCallum, Mary Berry,
Present.
and Anita Rivers, present. We have a forum. We will continue with the agenda. Any additions and deletions or amendments to the agenda?
Yes, I have an addition for number 7, new business, section 8, to add Black History Celebration.
Number 7.
What did she say?
For February.
Yes, for February
Black History
26th.
Celebration under 7.
All right, under 6B, we'll go old business, we'll add Mr. Randy Ogburn and Mr. Nigger Land. The correction on 7A3 is hosting the Sewanee River League City Center, not 40. Any other additions, deletions, or amendments by council? Seeing there is none, now we get a motion to approve the agenda as amended. Can I have a motion to approve the?
Now, Jacqueline has moved that we approve the agenda as amended.
Can I get a second on the motion?
Anita Rivers, second.
Okay, any discussion on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we'll go to citizens from the floor, 5 minutes. First one is Mr. John Wilson. Please come forward and state your name and address.
I was wanting to talk after we're in the event permit. After it was talking, and then the middle of the day, this was brought up.
We don't normally do that then, but okay, we will make an exception to that. Terri Siewert, please come forward, name and address.
Terri Siewert, 16554 River Street, White Springs. I want to ask the mayor and implore the council to reinstate our police department. Find it in the budget somewhere, some way. I want to ask the mayor how it felt to have to give somebody 15 minutes. I heard your video. It was heart-wrenching. While someone stood on your doorstep and then broke through your window. It had to be horrible. It sounded really terrible. I don't want that to happen to me. I think we need a police department in this town all the time, and I implore the council, please, to reinstate our police department. I don't want to be in that position.
Thank you. Mr. Thomas Brazil.
Good evening, council. White Springs has a town website. That's just a print out of the face of the website. And on that website, you have the symbol for Facebook. It says follow us on Facebook, which makes this Facebook page an official town Facebook page. We'll be posting public information on it. If you click on that, follow us on Facebook, it goes to a Facebook page of the town, picture Ray Vaughn and the guys working on sewers, and it's a town Facebook page. However, myself, my wife, my son receive, this content isn't available right now. In contacting Facebook, we've been blocked off this Facebook page by whomever the administrator is. I have an email from Audra, who I emailed about this, saying that I am not aware, I am neither personally nor professionally a Facebook subscriber. So she's obviously not the one who manages this Facebook page. I would like to know who is the one who manages this Facebook page, and if there's a way we can get unblocked, being that under Florida's open government law, an Attorney General's opinion out of 2009, if it's a public Facebook page, you could block content, you could block people from commenting if they're rude or whatever, but you can't block them from seeing information on it. There's also an ACLU Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals case out of Virginia that ruled that you cannot block somebody off a public forum. And the ACLU in the state of Florida has multiple posts about blocking people off. Government actors cannot generally censor you based on content of your communication. They can't block users, delete specific comments, or restrict access in other ways based on viewpoints expressed. They cannot block accounts or delete comments based just on that you disagree. So, who administers this Facebook page?
I didn't even know, I'm just gonna answer this. I don't know anything about a website that says Facebook on our website now. We have Unicode that's coming probably the next week that's gonna redo the whole thing. We know nothing about, I don't.
It's on your, that's where that printout is from. It's from the town website.
That's what I'm saying.
It says
The
follow us
stuff
on
that's on the website that was there when we got here. I personally don't know.
The town-of White Springs
Yes.
Facebook page.
I hear
Who
you.
administers it? You've commented on it.
I've commented on it.
Do we know who administers it? Who is responsible for the
I
content?
think we just can't take it off.
Nobody knows.
I don't have
And
login
that
for
page
it.
before we came in, matter of fact, I think the town has 2 pages. And whoever was the previous, I don't know, I'm not pointing fingers at previous administration.
Yeah, well, I know the town-of White Springs.
Actually created the Facebook page.
Okay.
They actually have those passwords for Facebook pages.
So we don't even know.
There's 2, and I don't even, I'm not even a friend of the town page, because I don't want.
Okay, well, if the town is gonna have a Facebook page, basically, you can't block people from seeing the Facebook page. You can block them from commenting on it. I think Joel will back me up on this. Under Florida's open government, you can't block people from seeing it if you're putting notices on Facebook. If you're using it as an official Facebook page for the town. Yes, go ahead, please.
It's Mr. Rizzo's time, but I do want to, this is an evolving area of law, but from DC circuit all the way down to our county courts, that's pretty much uniformly been held. I'm looking at the basic info, and it kind of suggests whoever set this up was a male individual who may have had a birthday on February 15th, 1958. Usually people put their own information in when they start something like this. We need to get to the bottom of this, and if somebody's running an unauthorized town of White Springs, we need to find this individual and have this taken down.
True.
I do understand, just for the public's information, that the staff right now doesn't have as much control over the website as you would like. There's a lot of outdated info on that. I do know the town is working on that, but Mr. Brizzle's right. To the extent any individual is being blocked, that is a problem. We need to be sure, first of all, we're not doing it, and two, we need to get control of it. So, Mr. Brizzle, thank you for bringing this to me.
Also on the town website, under public records request, it still lists my wife as the records custodian. Can we please fix
On the
that?
town's website?
On the town
That's all of that is being
website.
fixed.
Yeah.
We can't do anything with that.
Well,
If it's
Or
a
they
different
can.
company, we cannot change, we have to notify them, so that's why we're trying to go with.
I would appreciate it if somebody would notify
We're
them
trying to
to.
take all the people that's all, even on
Yeah.
Facebook, I think they still have Tommy as the town manager. So
I would
we're
appreciate it
still
if we
trying to
could
take all that off.
take care of that with whoever is running that,
All of that is.
running that town website.
Maybe Thursday, not Monday.
All right, thank you very much.
So, have they already
Thanks,
started?
Thomas.
Yeah, they've already started, we were
Yes.
supposed to have a meeting Monday, it got canceled of yesterday, Monday at 4 o'clock.
Yes.
Then she was trying to do it for today at 4 o'clock, but of course, we couldn't do it today.
we don't know how long it's gonna take, so she said Thursday. The only problem is that we have to do it at 4 because she is in Oregon, and that's the time.
And her issue today was who's the one that administers what's currently on there, so she
She
can
has to
get.
get the information from Tim Ford, I think.
Yeah.
Tim Trot was the one that's still doing it.
Yeah, she has to get his information so they can carry over the
Right.
URL.
All right, Scott Siewert, please state your name and address.
Scott Siewert, 16554 River Street, White Springs. I want to ask about the financial statements. My wife has been emailing twice. We've been down here except for 30 minutes and trying to get a financial statement. We have written it down. And what we got was this right here, and it's a check number with a date. It has no balances, no running balances, anything. We've been after this for 2 months. Okay, we're not getting any of it. Okay, we've hired a town manager for $60,000 a year to manage this town. Okay, and Audrey gave this to my wife and said, this is what Vanessa thinks you want. And we have specifically asked for a financial statement. And if you can't, if you don't know what a financial statement is, then we got somebody that appears to me that is not qualified to give us a financial statement. And why does it take 2 months?
First of all, I'm trying to ask you, what financial statement are you requesting? What is it for? Is it a certain month, a certain?
No, we've asked, Terry,
24 months.
how many?
24 months.
24 months. We've asked for,
So I printed out 24
Right.
months
We've
of
got
bank
nothing.
statements. and we gave
They
them
were not
bank
bank statements, they were,
this is what we got, they're not bank
Mr.
statements.
Siewert, the only one has the floor?
oh, she was Ellen, so I was.
Well, you don't have the right.
Okay. This is not a financial statement. There is no beginning balance, there is no ending balance. You can't even tell who the checks were written to. It's basically useless. Okay? And we've been after this for 2 months. And are we going to get a current financial statement and what we asked for? That's what I want to know.
Vanessa, can you address that? Because
Yes,
I have no
I
control
was
over
asked
that.
for 24 months of bank statements. So what I did, I went to the website, the First Federal, and I printed off 24 months of, not just that one sheet, they had, it was in a vanilla envelope. Put it in a
Oh,
code.
several sheets.
It was several sheets, and she could tell you the cost of it because it was more than one sheet. It was 24 months of bank statements. That's what they asked me for, that's what I gave them.
Okay.
Would you like
Did you
a
get-
copy of what was provided?
No, it's more than one sheet.
She said
It should
there's
have
more
more
than
than one
one.
sheet.
This is more than one sheet.
Yeah, it's a bank statement, it should have been an Excel format. Now, when you pull out a bank statement, it's not gonna say check written out to Joel Foreman, check written out, it's gonna say check number 77305, whatever it's gonna say. And that's 24 months, that's when I go to First Federal and printed that off the website. That's what she asked me for, and that's what I gave her.
That's not this.
Asking for the current financial statement now. What is, how much?
Yeah, I'd like to get a current financial statement.
What is that,
Okay, you will need to, we can't request anything tonight. What you'll need to do is make another one-night request and be specific in exactly what you want.
We've
That's
already
all I
done
can
that.
tell you.
Been doing it for 2 months.
Monthly, is she gonna give it to her?
I'm gonna, what?
Town charter,
Pardon me?
town charter says she'll provide it monthly.
Yeah, the town charter says right in there that Audrey's supposed to have a copy of that. In the town charter, it's not there, she's not giving it to us.
You asked me for bank statements, I gave you 24 months of bank statements, nobody
No,
else
you
has
didn't.
access to bank statements.
No,
Financial statement, not bank statement.
not bank
It
statement.
wasn't a bank
We
statement.
asked for a financial
Our first
statement.
will be removed from the council chambers, okay?
We asked for a financial statement, not bank statement.
Then put it in writing. Financial statement, one more time, that's all I know to say.
Just to be clear,
Yeah.
I'm not obligated to put it in writing, but I do understand the request is for a financial statement.
No, see, we went down here and sat down here for 20 minutes waiting for somebody to come out to the front office and we just sideline. And we get sidelined every time we ask for the financial statement.
Let me say this.
Every single time.
This is what people don't understand. In this whole entire office is Sanithia, Andre, and myself. We have other duties. Now, they come in here, they ask for stuff, we try to accommodate them as much as we can. But when we have to try to do the town as well as trying to find an ordinance or something that, consent order or anything from 2016 that somebody asking for, we have to stop doing what we need to do to go find this for them, which is no problem. But don't think that as soon as you walk in, we're gonna drop what we're doing. There's only 3 people in here. And we gotta do this whole municipality. That's what y'all forget. These people are trying to do everything they can for this town. When you walk in that door, don't think that we can drop everything because you can't. We're on the phone trying to get.
I don't mean to interrupt you on my 5 minutes.
All right, that's 5
But
minutes.
it's 2 months, okay, and we didn't get one statement. 2 months.
And you know what? It would take another amount of time because the town was behind how many years of an audit that we got to go find a bill paper.
Adrian Sash. Please state your name and address.
My name is Adrienne Saxley. I live at 16560 Jewett Street. About October of last year, I asked the council if they had any plans to auction off surplus real estate. Specifically, I have a house on Jewett Street and I also own an additional parcel. And those 2 pieces of property are divided by a closed Wesson Street. That property, the street has been closed probably for 30 years or more because there are trees growing on it that are at least 2 feet in diameter. Several people from the council came and looked at it and said, yes, this is just one strip wide and there's nothing we could really do with this. It was my understanding that we were going to, as the town, auction off all of the antiques and real property in auctions, and I understand that that's done. So do you have any idea when you might be deciding to auction the real property?
When you say Wesson Street's closed, do you mean it was closed by ordinance? Did the town council close it officially?
It didn't. I don't know. It's listed on my survey as Wesson Street closed.
Okay, so if a street has been closed and you own the property on either side,
Yes, sir.
the way Florida law works is you draw a line down the middle of that road and the property on one side goes to that property owner, the property on the other side goes to that property owner. It doesn't become a separate piece of property.
She on
So,
both sides.
I understand. So what we need to determine, and perhaps whoever did your survey probably knows, since they indicated it was closed, if we can find an ordinance or a resolution of the town council indicating it was formally closed, then that property already belongs to you.
Wow, where would I look for that?
Whoever prepared your survey had a reason they wrote down closed. So I would go check with them first. And then
Okay.
when you purchased your property, there might have been title examinations involved.
Yes.
So you might pull those funds. Okay?
Okay.
If none of that has happened, there's a process for formal street closure that we'll be happy to walk you through, but you have to bring it to the council and ask them to formally close the road. But when they do, that's the way it works. It doesn't become separate property of the town. It goes back to the adjoining landowners.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So I need to go back to my title company?
Just do a little bit of digging around, see if you can find that, and then whatever you find, if you'll provide it back to me, we can certainly assist you in making sure it's clear what that is.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Thank you very much.
That's good news.
Scott Gay.
Scott Gay, 10565 Kendrick Street, White Springs. I wanted to bring attention, I know that a couple of meetings ago, Vanessa filed for the $600,000 CBDG grant. And at the county level, some of our citizens are on the list for county CBDG. And those persons are George Glover Sr., Willie James Newsom, Bobby Richardson, Stanley Williams, and Linda Hall. Those are folks that I know that live in town that have been on the county waiting list as far back as 2016. And the reason for that is people outside the city limits have preference with the county CBDG funds. And if we're successful with the $600,000, I just want to make sure these folks don't drop through the cracks, and that we reach out to them and do whatever it is to do to make sure that they are included. I mean, they've already been to classes and all the things that you do to get on the list, and I just wanted to bring that to your attention. And some of those folks I've talked to are concerned about it, and I told them that the town had filed for the CBDG, and maybe there would be information later. Is there any updated information on that grant?
Vanessa can address that in her report.
Second item was the 2020, I saw the 2020 report from Mr. Powell, and it's a disclaimer opinion. And my question is, as he requested additional information, what can he do to modify that? Has he given us some homework to do? Is he looking for additional records? If so, what are they?
I can address that now. We have to do a single audit for the state, and the only additional information that they asked us for was grants for that time period, which we've been trying to find. The documentation and the paperwork. We reached out to the state. We've also been searching this office for that paperwork.
Okay,
To
so,
find out what grants that the town had, so they can conduct their single audit.
so the single audit pertains to the street grant, I think.
That's the only, no, it's more than one grant. They had the CBCD grant, they had a Water River grant, they had a street grant, they had, RIF grant, they had a SRF grant, so they had a couple grants during that time, apparently, that we had to find.
The 2019 audit that was done by Sexton was an unqualified opinion, which is a clean audit. So something happened between that audit and September 30, 2020, and the reasons Mr. Powell gave were lack of records pertaining to fixed assets and inability to confirm intergovernmental revenues, I believe is how he phrased it. So my question is, that can be remedied or modified if he's looking for, if he's asked for information.
He has not asked for any information on that. The only additional information he asked was that, so they can do the single audit. Section is, Schnorr, they did the audit. It was a hard time for us to get that audit done last year for 2018. So they worked with whatever they had, because we didn't have any additional information to give them. The last administration did not leave them with whatever they needed. So whatever they had, they used.
My concern is that a disclaimer opinion might mitigate our chances for a grant. So if there's something that we can do, something I can help with, I'm willing to do that. I've done audits before, and I just want to make myself available to you, because that'd be important. That's all.
Mayor. Mr. Can I make one comment?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Gay says the county, if we do work inside the city, it has to be done by the SHIP program.
Yes, right.
We cannot do CDBG work in the city, so those people would probably be on the SHIP list.
Yeah.
Just
I remember
for-
Ms. Underhall said she was on the ship. Yeah, that's different from CDBG.
But we use them to overlap if they're in the county,
Correct. Thank you. Mr. Joe Shepherd, please come forward, state your name and address.
My name is Joseph Shepherd, 16550 George Street, and I would like to request a speed bump and a sign for 22nd Avenue, because there's a lot of kids play there, and the traffic goes through there real fast. School bus, Amazon, and the mail carriers go through that street real fast, and there's kids that play there. So I would like to request a speed bump and a fire modifier and a sign be put up there.
When you said 22nd, but you mean 2nd Avenue, is that?
Yeah, Second Avenue, I'm sorry.
Is that, now 2nd Avenue goes from by it starts at the, laundromat and goes down through Mr. Udell and around, or are you talking about over where your mother-in-law?
I'm talking about where my mother-in-law is.
I don't know about how that happened, what decision is made on that. I know before one was put on Mill Street, the previous council did that. We'd have to look into funding, and then we'd have to also look into, I mean, there's a lot of requests for speed bumps on different streets, so I don't really know. Vanessa, you have any? We can just look into it and see what, of course, cost is always the option, not for us, but we can look in, she can definitely, her and Ray can look into it and see if something can be done.
All right, thank you.
Ms. Sarah Richburgh.
I am Sarah Richburgh, White Spring, Florida. I live on 2nd Street, 10516. I own the giant land next to my man. And it's done growed up so much, I done throw it out. Everything to keep snakes out of my yard. I mean, it is out there. Y'all go by there. If you don't have gas, I'll pay for it. And you'll be surprised what y'all see I have to go with. Nobody ain't got no right to live like I'm living next door to that man. I've been coming down here for about 4 or 5 years on the same piece of land, and I have gotten no results. That lady stay up in New York or Pennsylvania. She paid tax about $50 a year. That don't compare to what I pay tax. And so something needs to be done.
Ms. Sarah, I can tell you that we just hired a code enforcer last Friday, I believe. And he started last Friday, and he'll be working, and so a lot of that will be addressed.
Yeah, I'm just about, well, say fenced in, the back, the side. Snakes crawling, I done bought everything.
I understand.
So I appreciate y'all do something.
I'll make sure Ray, talk with him and let him look at that property when he takes him around again.
Please do. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, old business, no, first, is Mr. Robert Townsend here? No? Okay. Approval of the minutes for the August 9th, 2022 town hall meeting. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes?
I, Jacqueline, move we approve the minutes for August 9th, 2022, regular town hall meeting.
Can I get a second on the motion?
I'm Mary Berry.
Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Old business, contract approval for event permits and fees. Mr. Joe Foreman has made a couple of adjustments in the contract. You want to go over it?
Yes, Mayor. The town staff made a great first effort. All I've really done is clarify some things and kind of tighten up the language. But essentially what you're looking at is requiring proof of licensure and appropriate insurance if there's going to be any alcoholic beverages associated with any street closure. You're also covering the town's costs for barricades and also having an additional provision that additional barricades are necessary. The applicant will absorb those costs. We took the security language that you had included in the rental agreement for town facilities. People per person in security, we've incorporated that here. And then otherwise, it's just, again, the language that you've seen a little bit tightened up. I've also provided the town manager with appropriate discretion to take steps to either amend or revoke permits in the interest of public safety. So if you have something that gets out of line, they say there's going to be 200 people in there and there'll be 2,000 people, town manager can be informed of that. She can revoke that permit and revoke the street closure and then authorize law enforcement to go in there and clear the street. So it gives you authority, allows you to be responsive as these events are going on. But otherwise, I think everything is in good order. I would ask, since this is vesting some authority, the town manager, if he would adopt this proposed
get to read it?
I can read it. I mean, there's not copies out
Is
here.
there a couple extra copies of this for you?
Yeah, you can get copies and,
Well, before it's approved, because someone might have a question.
okay, I'll take any questions from anyone in the audience.
I believe Don had a question. Don had a question?
Well,
You'll have to come to the podium.
Don Wilson, Swanee Hardware on Bridge Street. We have a continuous every month same event. Is this something that we would have to fill out every month, or could it continue for the whole year? We do it the same day every month.
You have to pay the $30 for each month that you're open.
I understand your question. The only requirement is it has to be at least 10 days in advance. So I think if you fill it out and indicate all the dates that you want to do it, as long as it's 10 days before the first date, I don't know that you necessarily want to do, too many of them, but Madam Manager, would it be easy enough to keep track of the year's work if you put it in?
Well, we do it the second Saturday of every month. We do a community street sale where people come in.
So, and then you'll have a pretty good idea of how many barricades you need, which is.
We've had the barricades for 15 years at our store. We don't need any.
Okay, yeah, you'll.
There's a town barricade.
That's right. They've been there for 15 years.
You'll need to fill it out and file it, but you'll need to indicate all the dates.
If we purchase our own barricades, would we have to use their barricades?
You've been storing them for the town.
You still have to have barricades to block off the street.
That's what I'm saying. If I buy my own, because we do it every month.
You're not paying for
The program that's contemplated is that the town will provide the barricades, and that it's $30 per event.
Per street or per event?
Well, it's per main street, how many roads you close.
Two.
So it'd be two.
And we don't charge anything for the event, so we're doing it as a public thing for the community, to draw people in and to help people sell their stuff. So that's gonna be out of my pocket. Now we'll have to start charging people to come set up, if they'll charge us for that fee. When we can supply our own barricades, we wouldn't need to pay that. And we were given permission 15 years ago by the town to hold this event and shut the street down.
And then it was closed also by the, Stacy Tebow at once, when it was at the old hardware store, she shut it down.
Never,
Yeah, it was discontinued.
never.
And also, this says he'll have to pay $30 each roadway. And then the vendors would also, wasn't it something in here about the vendors? Vanessa? I'm trying to, it wasn't.
Yeah, you're having vendors, the vendors have to come get a vending license to be
We're shutting it
And that's
down.
for 1 year for the vendor?
We have yard sale people come in to sell their stuff out of their yard. They're not gonna come spend $20, $27 just for one time to come sell stuff. So y'all are screwing this town and we will no longer hold the events.
In Lake City, when they have the same.
They don't do
same
it,
downtown
that's a
restaurant.
festival. That's a festival.
Okay, when this first, I'm sorry. Thank you, Anita.
Yeah, sure.
When this first came out, I posted some, Sharon Shea, 1060 in Wesson Street. When this was first proposed, I'd go back a long ways in White Springs, so this has been held in front of the SBA headquarters since the hardware store moved. And it's just a local event. I mean, it really is just a garage sale where people bring their stuff and it allows people to mingle and meet and greet. These people aren't making any money. If they have to have a vendor fee, these people are not going to show up. And then, Don is willing to absorb the cost of putting on for the street closure. But then to expect the moms and the pops, and some of you in here have been out there, hopefully, Mr. Foreman, you've been to one of the street things, so you know what it's all about. But, so I posted on Facebook, and one of you folks responded for the town of White Springs. And what they said was, at first, somebody who showed up as the town of White Springs responded on behalf of White Springs and said, there was a couple different posts, and they said that this would not apply for this event. So that gave me great hope that y'all cared about our town. It's one of the small community events. People that stay in the state park, they like to wander around occasionally. There are the crafts, there's the people with the jams. These people show up whether it's rain or shine, they may make no money. So I would like to ask the town to at least waive the vendor fee, because these people are not making the money. And we do need this sort of activity in our town to make us more desirable for tourism and people to come and walk around and see what we have to offer. So that's what I would like the town to look at, is making an exception for the vendor permit. Thank you.
In Lake City, isn't there a vendor fee at the one that they have on Saturday?
Lake City's a big difference.
And some of those same vendors I've seen here, so if they're willing to pay in Lake City, they should be willing to pay.
This is how this came up. Let's go over the history of how this came up. So the street that's being blocked is right on the way to Town Hall. It didn't even come up about the yard sale.
Y'all are looking at that.
You want to finish? Like I said, it's not about the yard sale. It happens because people are closing the street any day they want to so people are coming to Town Hall and they got to do a detour because there's been food trucks out there in front of the hardware store. So people come in here and complain to us because it's food trucks and they got to do a detour to get to Town Hall. Like I was saying, this is not all about the community event. It arises from there. It came also because of block parties. People are having block parties and they block the streets. So people are calling us saying, why are the streets blocked?
Right.
So all of this is arising out of everything. Now you can't say, and there's no way for me to say, oh well, this person does this, but you all can't do this, because what we get at Town Hall is this, and what y'all don't hear. Where y'all let them close the blocks for the what's the little yard sale thing? So this looks like y'all just favoring the yard sale. So we're not favoring anybody. We have a uniform application for street closure to make it uniform.
We're not talking about the street closure. That's okay.
I'm just telling you how it arrived. Because everybody want to act like we're attacking the yard sale. We're not.
You are.
The only reason why we came up with this is because we were getting complaints. Just because you all ain't here against it, but we get the complaints every day.
That's part of your job.
Wait a second.
About the block party.
Is Town Hall now?
Street and happens to thing. So no, it's nothing personal against the yard sales. I actually came to one as well.
Well, hopefully.
Question?
Yes.
Is Town Hall now open on Saturday mornings?
It's not open on
But
Saturday.
you
She didn't say
saying
it was for
people-
Saturday. She
but-
said the complaint came, I was one that complained because one day I got ready to come home from work to come to Town Hall. The street was blocked because the taco truck was they had half of the road blocked.
And y'all came
That's
in
not right. I don't eat tacos, so I've never been there. But the point is, the street was blocked on the middle of the week.
Y'all came there.
The street was blocked in the middle of the week, and it was a work day, and it wasn't in the street.
That's a parking space that's blocked, not the street.
It's,
Off the street.
Go ahead.
That's a parking space.
I think the biggest question here is not the street closure, it's the vendor fee.
Well, that's what she's saying.
So if the vendor fee could be waived for this thing that's been going on for years and years and years, we'd still have the tourism thing. Don has graciously said he will pay you the $60 a month for the barricades and stuff. But could you find it in your hearts to excuse the vendor fees for the flea market atmosphere of the swap meet that's been going on forever? Because if you don't, it's going away. And that's another thing from White Springs that's going to go away.
The same vendors, some of the same vendors pay in Lake City, they can pay here. My other thing is, what about the Sugarcane Festival? What about the Christmas on the Square? Mr. Wilson is posting that he is charging vendor fees for that.
Well, that's different. We're talking just
No,
about.
it's no different. It's vendors.
No, we're talking about
Specifically swap
coffee. We're
But
just
this
talking.
is another event that he's
And he's
having
going to
at a lot of
address that.
streets that
He's going to-
he's charging for vendors, and so the.
That's the
county just-
same day as our regular community street sale. We changed the name to get people a little bit more
But you're
atmosphere.
charging a vendor fee.
That's correct. And you know where that money goes to? Every
No, I
bit of
don't.
it is going to the event. And the Christmas, every bit of it's going to the church that donates food to the families. We're not doing this to make money. We're doing this for this community. What are y'all up there for?
I agree. Y'all are getting gambling here, but we're.
Are y'all for this community or not?
When this issue, Tom Brazil, when this issue first came up, I did a little research in the town charter. And I would urge y'all to do some research and Joel to do some research in the town charter. If you are passing a rule that involves a fee or involves any kind of penalty for violating it, you have to do it as an ordinance. You just can't make up a rule. If you read the town charter, it says you have to do it as an ordinance. I gave Mr. Wilson the information. I don't recall, I didn't bring it with me tonight because I didn't know we were speaking on this topic, but it is in the town charter. It has to be an ordinance.
Which
So,
includes
I
two
would just-
workshop.
I would just recommend you research that before you do this.
Very fee.
From my understanding, this is just the application, if you do this, this is not saying, this is just the application. If you decide to do it.
That it has to be an ordinance to enforce it, so we can approve the application.
You're approving an application to charge money.
We lose the hardware store, it'll be because of you guys on you. If we lose the hardware store, it will be on this county.
There's, hold on, please, we're trying to, Mr. Foreman is looking for an answer.
Actions requiring ordinance include those to adopt, amend the administrative code, establish a rule or regulation for violation of which a fine or other penalty is imposed. This is not a fine or a penalty, it's an application fee.
Right.
Provide for a fine or other penalty or establish a rule or regulation for violation of which a fine or other penalty is imposed. There is no fine or penalty. This is a permit which can be appropriately rescinded based on public safety and remedy against vandalism. If your permit's revoked, that's all I have.
So if he doesn't pay, it's not
Excuse me,
penalized?
Mr. Foreman is speaking. Raise your hand for to be recognized.
Deregulate the rate charged by public utility, that's not this. Authorize the borrowing of money, including unlimited to issuance of bonds, that's obviously not this. Control. Okay. It's hard to read on the phone. Control and regulate waterways, docks, seawalls, parks, regulate health and sanitation, and then repeal any ordinance previously adopted. So those are the items that are required. Again, I don't see anywhere where somebody gets fined or penalized. If this said something like, if you tried to close a street without a permit, we're gonna charge you $1,000.
So he can close it without penalty? Like he's been doing?
You can't file an application without paying the application fee.
And we're not, what about, what if he holds it without charge, without?
He's saying that if he,
This won't impose the penalty.
this is not in the
Closing the road,
charter does
state
not
law
state.
will be the penalty.
And the
This
vendor
doesn't-
fees?
The language in here that relates to vendor fees says that there shall be no vending unless the vendor holds the appropriate town, no vending, i.e. sale of food and beverages, without proper city permits and or licenses. Does the city have a scheme for vendor fees and licenses?
So does
$30? $26.25 for a year. So that's all the vendor would be, have to pay for 1 year. It's not like they have to pay every month.
Well, that would start off.
That fee is yes. And I'm sure the vendors will make at least $26 in 12 months, but that's.
Well, you just said it was for a year, before it was a month.
12 months, 1 year.
Well, that's good to know.
All right, can I get a motion to approve the, application for street closing permits from the council?
It's on you guys.
I hear Barry make a motion for street closing permit, White Springs.
That's the second. Any discussion on the motion? It will go into effect on, what is this? October 1st. Yeah, October 1st.
October 1st, in 2 weeks. So I think.
Excuse me, ma'am,
Oh,
we have a
I
motion and a
apologize.
second, and we're in
apologize.
discussion.
And I apologize. That's the discussion that I thought.
October 1st. Any more discussion? Hold on
To
just
be
a second.
clear, this is more like administration stuff, okay? So we talk about, this will be effective as soon as you approve.
Okay.
It just becomes one of the forms they use in their office for what they do when they do this.
Okay.
You're not actually creating anything. Right now, without any sort of a permit scheme, you're not technically legally allowed to close a street. Okay?
Correct.
So now you're creating the permit scheme that allows for closure, that will make it legally enforceable. There's technically a much more complicated scheme for the statutes that you're not invoking. You're making it a little easier.
Thanks.
So, I just want to make sure it's clear. You're not adopting a resolution. You're not passing an ordinance. You're approving the form that's been suggested by staff. That's all we're doing.
All those in favor?
She has a question.
Oh.
All right, my question was, with the, like, the permits you have to get from the city, you're not gonna apply like for whatever, like, is going on within the town, like with May, when you have the vendors May?
Mayday is a town event.
You may have to get, do the vendors have to get the $25, the $30 permits also?
Mayday, the vendors pay a vendor's fee. So they pay the vendor at Mayday. And plus Mayday is a town-sponsored event, just like the Azalea Festival is a town-sponsored event. So of course the town not gonna pay the town because they're on the streets. But the vendors do pay a fee. They pay vendor fees.
For the Azalea Festival and
Mayday.
And the vendor fee is more than the
And
license.
it's like $100 or something, a vendor.
It is $150 for the vendor.
Yeah. Yeah, this is way more than $26. And that's $26 for the year, but when you do a Mayday or the Azalea Festival, they're paying for that day alone. And they're paying the vendor fee.
All right, and I get a, vote on the motion that was first and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Mr. Randy Ogburn and Mr. Henry Land, sorry it took so long to get to you. Because you were up.
Thank you. Do I need to state my name?
No, Mr. Henry Land, we know you.
Okay, all right, thank you. Myself and Mr. Ogden, we come before you tonight to ask your consideration on approval of the fire protection related emergency services agreement. I'm sorry that there had been some revision yesterday to this. I believe that it was forwarded to your council. I'm not aware if it was actually forwarded to the council members. If y'all had time to review it.
I spoke with Louis earlier, and he said he didn't have the paperwork for it, so I haven't seen it.
Okay.
Did you see it?
I received it this morning at 10:34, and I was able to look through it one time. Well, I had to take a look at it. I did check it for legal sufficiency, of course, and not much about that change. I I think in my conversations with the chief, there's some technical elements to it that he has concern. So I'd like for y'all to listen to the presentation from the county and then inquire of your chief as whether or not he thinks you can meet this thing.
So the request was made to the county to provide funding for a municipality within Hamilton County. And so what we had verbally agreed for that municipality, we carried forward to the additional municipalities to see if they could accept and then continue on with the fire service. And what was agreed upon was an annual fee of $100,000, and they would guarantee 2 certified individuals to respond for every call of service, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It would be prorated out versus a call for service versus a response. You know, there again, it would be for 2 certified individuals for all calls, with a minimum of 12-minute response time from the time the call is received until the appropriate apparatus is en route to the call. It's very similar to the original agreement that the county and the municipality had. Very little verbiage change in it. Another area that has some changes in it. Just a moment, I wasn't quite prepared to do a presentation on it per se. So really, all in all, it's pretty much almost identical except for the amount of revenue to be received. One of the things that I do need to mention that was approved yesterday, would still need to go back before the board though, for their approval, would be a base of $30,000 of the $100,000. So in essence, if White Springs responded to no calls for the year, you would still receive $30,000 in funding as a flat fee.
That's an addition, that's a new addition?
It's,
So the 30 is the base now?
30 would be a base, with the additional being prorated. Correct. If you responded to nothing, you would get that.
And it would be paid quarterly.
Correct. At the beginning of the quarter, it would be paid. So whenever this went into effect, signed by both parties, you would receive a check of $7,500, and it'd be payable at the first of every quarter. And then the remainder of that would, of course, be the call to respond ratio. So in other words, if you had 100 calls and you only responded to 50 of the 100, then you would only get half of the remaining balance of the 25,000. Did I lose you with that? Kinda. All right, so you're not going to exceed 25,000 per quarter. We're going to guarantee you out of that 25,000 of that quarterly pay, we're going to guarantee you $7,500 of it. The remainder of that 25,000 is what would be prorated. In other words, if you respond to no calls, you get no additional funding for that quarter.
Okay.
If you respond to half of the calls for service, then you would get half of that remaining.
Just like the original agreement that we've got right now.
Okay, so basically now.
70,000 is based on.
Yeah, so the change now is that we can guarantee and bank on 30,000 regardless. We
Yes.
couldn't previously, okay.
That's right.
Correct.
But you want 2 24-hour, 6
That's
days a
for
week.
the 70. I know we can't do that. That's for 70, but he's saying regardless. That's what I want to clarify. You can bank on 30,000 regardless.
Correct.
But I know.
After the agreement,
70.
after the board agrees.
Yeah.
So
But
we
you
are
still
not
have
responsible
to,
for any man.
still have to have the certified people. I mean, you gotta have a fire department to get the $30,000.
So let me clarify. So we have to hire all the staff
Yeah, you got to meet the conditions of the agreement. I mean, we're not gonna give you $30,000 unless you,
No,
got
I
a
mean,
fire
if we had
department.
30,000, if we got the 30,000 and we had 6 firefighters, that's not enough to staff it full time. So basically, you're saying we have to have 12 firefighters in order to get the 30.
No, we're saying you gotta have 2 certified
Well, 2
firefighters to
certified
respond.
to respond to, that's 2 every shift. So that's gonna equal out to be about, how many you said, Steve, 8, 6? Cause it's,
No, it's 2 a day, but still, with that talking about it was 2
Yeah.
in, 2 out, it still don't meet that requirement from the state.
Right.
So
Correct.
if Genoa's got 2 coming, then yeah, you can do something, but still 2 responding on a structure fire,
Yes,
still.
and we've talked about that, Mr. Steve.
Yeah.
And certainly, if you got a structure fire, we're gonna have, Mr. Henry's gonna have Genoa, the other fire departments in right. We're gonna, there's gonna be a department to back you up.
But is Genoa gonna have 2 full-time people too?
We hope they do.
Well, see, how
I
come
mean, well, they don't,
I'm just saying, if we're gonna have 2, then we gotta know who's coming from Genoa. If you can't guarantee that, how can we guarantee that we can do anything with the structure fire except for look at it?
yeah, and see, it don't say 2 full-time.
That's what y'all are saying, 2 24/7.
It doesn't, it just says a response. Now, we're not saying you have to employ them full-time, they can be volunteers.
Right.
cause if we do 2 in that amount, if we doing 2, that only covers us for 2 days. We got 5 days of the week and we don't have any coverage. So we're not gonna get any money, cause we got 5 days.
Basically, what you're gonna have to do, because you're just like the county, we can't afford, 8 or 10 firefighters, y'all cannot, we cannot. You're gonna have to try to do it on a volunteer basis like we always have.
Right, and as you all said before, that volunteers are few and far in between.
Absolutely.
Now, let me ask you, with, Jasper, are y'all giving them 100,000 or y'all giving them 119?
Unless they come up and sign an agreement, then we're not giving them anything.
Okay, well, y'all offered them how much?
The last offer was 120,000, I believe.
Right, and I understand y'all said y'all offered them more because they answered her calling them now that White Springs is having to do the same thing and follow the same requirements. Why aren't the other municipalities getting the same amount as Jasper?
Right, they gotta do the same requirement.
Cause we gotta have the same amount of people now, and we gotta respond to the same amount. So why are we getting less money to do the same job with this more people?
My understanding is that they're hiring 4 individuals. Now, will they agree to this agreement? I'm not sure on that, but my understanding is that they are going to hire 4 individuals, or have 4 individuals on staff. They'll hire an additional 3, is my understanding.
When they got an additional 20,000, so.
Yes, sir.
I realize everybody wants this to start on October 1st, but I'm hearing a lot of questions that, as I'm looking through this contract, I can answer these questions now. And what's being discussed here, we're talking about the amount of money, that's more negotiation level stuff, so I think we should refer this to the town manager and the chief for further negotiations, and iron out these details in the next couple of weeks, make sure this is something that your staff feels comfortable with, and then they can tell you they're comfortable, then the council can consider it. I certainly appreciate, I understand that the county was faced with some negotiations with Jennings, things were kind of moving quickly. Certainly don't fault the county in any way, shape, or form, but I think you need to at least know that your staff is involved in this before you should.
All right, so y'all can get together with the chief and Vanessa, I'll have some more details and bring it to the council.
We've already had a first tentative budget workshop. We will have our final budget workshop Tuesday, which is 20th.
September 20th.
Yeah. And our budget will be finalized then.
What time? September
5:05.
5 o'clock?
5:05.
5:05.
So, I mean, we've been, after this thing, we've run it around the trail, but we're down to the wire. I mean, and I understand what Mr. Foreman says, I agree with him 100%. But so that you know, Mr. Foreman, we have met individually with Mr. Stith, with the town manager, we've met with Jennings, we've met with Jasper. We tried to get this thing, and I understand that's one of the harder things that we tackled in our budget.
And Mr. Ogburn, if you misunderstood me at all,
No, I
I
didn't.
absolutely don't fault anybody with the county. I just, what I'm hearing over on my left ear.
Yeah, I understand. And we're in the same position that the town is with our county.
I think the town will be happy to accommodate, try to get everything ready by Tuesday.
But I'm just simply saying is, what I'm simply saying is, come Tuesday, we have to do something. We have to finalize the budget, with or without this in it.
Yes, sir.
Will it happen after that date? I don't know. I don't know if it will or not. But I have the agreements tonight signed, but I hear that y'all are not ready to do that. And we got through all. When Jennings came there, I think y'all were there at one of our meetings. Jennings said, we good with this thing. We can provide what you were asking us to do, and da-da-da, all the way up until, what, 2 days ago?
Till
this morning.
Yeah.
Again, this morning it's changed. Yeah, and they keep changing. I mean, so we're just kind of scratching our head or our watch or something, trying to figure out what we're gonna do.
Just on, I mean, y'all did put some nice language in there, you know, that will basically adhere to Hamilton County Fire protocols, which is great, right? Because like y'all were saying, what you know it covers, or somebody else covers, or Hamilton provides too. I think what we're gonna be looking for is just something in there to clarify that, you know, in the event of a structure fire, for example, it's understood White Springs probably only gets incentives, right? So it's, because the way it's written right now, if there's a structure fire and we respond, we have to respond in full, right? And it's just a drafting issue. It's just one thing I picked out. And then I hear my chief over here saying I can't be committed to something I can't actually do. So again, I think if we just move quickly in the next couple of days, we can at least get you that budget here. Hey guys, we do need to set aside $100,000, right? We do need to put that in the budget. The agreement will get out of that in the next couple of weeks. I think that's where we want to be.
Well, Miss Vanessa, Miss Rivers can kind of contact myself, Mr. Kenner, Mr.
Yes, sir.
Louis, and we'll work it down to the last.
Thank you, Mr. Randy.
Thank y'all for
Thank y'all.
hearing us today. Thank y'all.
All right, so we'll move on to new business, approval of calendar events for 2022 to 2023. October 29th, trunk or treat. November 11th, Veterans Program. November 17th, the town will host the Swanee River League of Cities Dinner and Board Meeting. December 9th is the Christmas Parade and Fish Chili Dinner. And move to February Black History Celebration. April will be the Wild Azalea Festival, and May 20th, the May Day Festival. And is there anything else the council would like to maybe?
Madam Mayor, can we actually set locations as well?
Yes. Trunk or treat, is there maybe kind of Baldwin? I don't know. What do you think?
I would suggest the office so everybody can put the meeting and spread out. And then do it like a nice location for the paper. That's my list.
Where?
Maybe Ogburn,
Ball field.
Bolton.
Veterans Program, we have talked with Louis Gooden in the state park, and so I believe Audrey, Man. Who did I say? Louis. Manny Perez, for the Veterans Program, that one will be actually in the auditorium.
Taking that.
Which one was the one we had to switch? I thought that was the auditorium and then.
No, we have the Veterans Program at the Tourism Center. That's what that was. It was a conflict. We talked about it later.
So Tourism Center?
Yes.
Okay, and then the Swanee River League of Cities Dinner and Board Meeting, which is for the town members, the town council, staff, and other, municipalities that belong to the Swanee River League of Cities. That will be in the Stephen Foster Never lies.
Kitchen.
That, Christmas parade, you know, of course, that will be at the ball field, and the chili dinner will also be at the ball field again, like it was in the concession stand. Bobazzetti's, that's a little course tourism center. May Day will be at the Carver Field. And a Black History Celebration is Williams.
What I would like to, this that will be, Foreman, I would like to do like a different taste of cultures. So, if town manager don't mind, maybe do it here at Town Hall on Sunday afternoon. Town Hall.
Town Hall.
For what, I'm sorry, couldn't hear.
The Black History Celebration, it would be a taste of.
A taste of culture.
Taste of culture. And if I can get a motion by council to approve the events for the year 2022-2023.
What about Juneteenth? Excuse me, I apologize.
I don't know, that's a lot. Lake City has a real big event for that,
Yeah, I
and
was just
Stephen
curious.
Foster, this year, the Stephen Foster put on the Juneteenth event.
Right, it was very nice.
I would think that they may be hosting that.
Are we not doing Martin Luther King this year?
Not because we're doing this, the Black History program. Unless you wanna do it, I mean, if you want to do it.
And what date is the Black History Celebration, February?
February 26th.
26th.
So Martin Luther King, would that be like January?
January 18th.
I'm waiting on Nicole, she said she would do that again.
Yeah.
What date?
This is the actual date.
It's what?
16th of January. That's the Monday.
January 16th?
So January 16th, MLK celebration. All right, anything else?
You know what celebration is?
October 29th. All right, so are there any more? Can I get a motion to approve the town events for 2022-2023?
Mary Berry, make a motion to approve the town event for 2022 and 2023.
Can I get a second on the motion?
Jacqueline, need a second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. All right, departmental and administrative comments, any comments from the public? Town manager?
Okay, well, we pretty much went over our sequence. The fire department, want to discuss that on how we were going with them. Of course, they just did a presentation. Street closure application, we went over in the city BG grant, which is moving along. We're now posting for the administrator of the grant. We're advertising for that. So we're moving along on that. Town hall will also be closing this Thursday at 1 p.m. for the attendance of the
Swanee River.
Swanee River Legal Cities meeting. Other than that, I'll turn it over to Greg. So, I will not, but I will say this, Ray, I don't know, we don't see Ray sometimes, and like, what is Ray doing? you know, he getting calls, you know, about things, and I'm like, hey, Ray, you get here now, buddy, and get to work. But I got this email today, and I'm gonna let Ray share his email.
He's
Ray,
shy.
share the email.
He's shy with us.
It says, hello, Ray. After reviewing the White Springs WWTF case,
Wastewater treatment.
that's the wastewater treatment facility, it was determined that the water monitoring plan that was previously needed to be submitted is no longer required. The facility will return back into compliance if a formula that is needed showing that the facility has been returned to, if a formula that is needed showing that the facility has been returned to compliance, please let me know. Which, this means that the consent order, where we had to do that 1 acre pond for $300,000 to $500 is out. Ray had been to that water plant, that's why I haven't seen him, y'all call him, he's been out of pocket, trying to get that water plant back up to par and in compliance. So now they are releasing all, sanctions against the town with that. And I would like to tell Ray, thank you for your hard work. So we got our water treatment plant back, wastewater treatment plant back into compliance. And we can actually cancel that grant, and that's one less, loan that we would have to pay back. But we're waiting on that formal letter though. Yes. Good job, man. Thank you. Good job. So y'all been calling Ray, that's why he been returning y'all calls, because he been working.
All right, so, fire department.
You know,
We haven't had a chief
we
yet.
didn't have, you know, we didn't do it, so,
Well, the chief actually been out for
yeah.
a while.
Yeah, I was out a little bit.
Yeah. But
The
he's
shots didn't work.
Yeah. He's still trying to work and breathe at the same time. But we're glad to have him back. He had to get a letter of clearance though, but he's back.
Well, hopefully, October 1, we'll have all this other stuff resolved. There'll be a better, report on everything going on, and then with the firefighters, so,
He's been out for the month.
yeah.
All this month.
All right, so there are no other announcements. Anything by the council, anything anybody want to say? Any announcements? Comments?
Just a question, will there be some, information provided about how the, sale of all the surplus items went? Just out of curiosity. I don't need that information now, I'm just kind of curious, I hope it went well.
That is also that Thursday, but since.
I know it's a lot of work, so,
Not really. Still a lot of
a lot of stuff.
That veterans building was full.
It's still stuff in there.
And it's still stuff in there. And it's still stuff out there.
Will there be another non-auction?
I don't know. At this point, nobody's showing up. And no, the last one, it was just come and give a price.
Bring it to the swap meet.
Yeah, all of that stuff.
Now you gotta laugh about something.
At this point, I'm ready to call the dumpster. They just, but we can do that, but.
Call Veterans Society, veterans.
Mayor, do we have a tentative date on the budget meetings?
I didn't hear you.
Do we have a tentative date on budget meetings?
Oh, yeah. Vanessa, what is the next, the hearing, the first hearing? You advertise?
We have not advertised it yet because we have to get the budget summary.
When is it?
We don't have the budget summary yet, because to get the budget summary, there was a discrepancy in the budget summary, he had to redo it. Then he was with another municipality, the rest of the week. Yeah, the rest of the week, so now we're waiting on the budget summary. We cannot set the dates until we get that budget summary, because once we advertise, we have to do it within, the meeting within a couple of days. 2 to 5 days. We should know tomorrow and try to set those dates.
So he will have it hosted by this week, because he can't hold us up and not getting it done by September 30th.
Yeah. He was working on it today, but we found little discrepancies.
So as soon as
paper does not go out, just because we give it to them Tuesday, don't mean it's gonna go out Wednesday.
Or when they have to put it in a night, put it in another paper, does that?
We can talk about Lake City, we're not talking about Riverview. Riverview only do Wednesday but Friday, we're talking about Lake City, they still don't do it the same day.
And we talked to the state today.
Yeah, we talked to the victory from the state as well, so we have to send that to them also for approval. Then we also have to go to Jasper and talk to the property appraiser to, get another date also.
I don't have but 17 days now.
Well, we still gotta go through protocol.
Where will this be noticed? That we would all know, would it be on someplace?
Newspaper.
Just the newspaper?
Newspaper to be posted at town.
Well, somebody gonna be in the newspaper, that's what the state requires.
No, I mean, announcement.
What about on the town website?
Oh, they don't have that yet.
No, but you still have the green one, because I know Audrey puts a lot of stuff on there.
You'll put it on the town website.
Yeah.
The date for the meeting.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Are we gonna get a financial update before this budget workshop? So we can have something to look at before we get here?
We did a financial update.
The last time that we got one, it was 2 years old. The last one that you handed out here at the other budget meeting, it was from 2 years ago.
Remember when we went over the financial, in the budget meeting? What we saying from the last time we did? I remember coming up here.
All right, so if there's nothing else,
Madam Mayor, did you answer the question? Are we getting a financial statement?
that would be a question to the town
I
manager,
couldn't
not
hear.
me. I don't give.
You can get a financial statement, I have no problem. What specific dates do you want in this financial statement?
I wrote to Audrey, I left
I'm
it in writing.
asking you now.
I would like to know how much we have in our general fund and our enterprise fund
As of
at this
what date?
time. At this time.
Wasn't that given
No.
It was at the budget.
in the budget?
It was.
Workshop.
It was.
Madam
Yeah.
Mayor,
It's in your
it was a
folder.
2020 statement.
Not the statement, we're talking about that was given on our
No.
budget for the workshop. It said what was in each account.
We
Yes,
want it
ma'am.
now.
Okay. Meeting adjourned, 7:53.
Irritated?